I get so scared.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can cut it out.
Okay. Hey, this is Rita.
And this is Tylor.
We're really glad you're here. Welcome to our first episode of Neurospicy Babes.
Yes.
We are so glad you're here.
This has been a long time coming. We're here with our Starbucks drinks.
And we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's start it off with some
Highs.
and lows.
We could do better.
You need to go a little higher.
Okay. Hi.
And lows.
Okay, so we always have to start off with our lows and end with our highs.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll go first. Again, this is Tylor. So my low was... Okay, it kind of goes with my high, so I feel like I should say my high first.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, I'm going against the rule. So my high is I got a random day off of work, and it was on Tuesday, and I just didn't have to go in because my car didn't start. And that goes into my low because then I have to figure out what's wrong with it and probably buy a new battery.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive.
Yeah. So
Not fun.
not looking forward to that, but hey, no school day. And it was the day that we got snow.
And,
So-
to end yours on a high, it did start the next morning.
You're right.
So, that was good.
That was a good high, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
How about you, Rita?
My low was kind of some drama at work that we can definitely go into more later. But basically, I was a mentor for a new coworker, and I was really excited about the job. And it just didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, and it's kind of ended. Now I'm no longer her mentor officially anymore, and it's kind of a bummer. And I kind of thought we were good. I'm gonna have a good working relationship, but then I kind of heard through the grapevine that she seemed to be making kind of a big deal about it. So, I'll keep you updated because it seems like a in progress story.
But are you worried about, your professional image?
Yes, very much so. And I was guaranteed by a higher up that it's not reflecting badly on me. They just think it's a mismatch of personalities. And like she said over and over, it doesn't reflect on me or anything. But now I'm just worried about what other colleagues, coworkers think about it and any effects it will have on that kind of stuff. So, bummer.
Going forward, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if your heart's in, working your way up.
Yeah, and it really is. I don't see myself doing this forever. I'd like to move on to
Keep
other
going.
things just because I want to make a bigger impact.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so that's my low. Moving on to my...
Hi. That was good.
That was
That was
good.
prime.
That was perfect. My high was probably Halloween. So me and Tylor and my boyfriend and a couple other friends got together. We made pizzas on their cool
Also-
pizza thing.
It's called, an oni.
Yeah.
Oni, but about the pizza things, it's so hard to make shapes.
Yeah, I wanted to make mine as a ghost, but we weren't very successful at that. But the pizzas were really good, and everybody had a really good time. And, Tylor is now besties with some of my friends that I've, introduced her to. So that's, super fun. I love bringing all my people together.
Yes.
So
That's
I
my
love when
favorite.
my people know my people.
And besties, I love besties. I just love having so many besties.
Yes, for sure. So it was just a really fun night. And, yeah, it was just a really fun night.
Nice.
Yeah. But so our topic of the week is going to be working out. I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say it with me.
Okay, sorry. We'll work on that. Our topic is going to be working
Working
out.
out.
We decided this would be a good topic because yesterday we went to this wine and wad for women's night since all the men are hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So the women need something to do.
Yep.
And what it was is a CrossFit workout, which we'll talk more about later probably, but a CrossFit workout. And then we did a little yoga, and then there was a huge smorgasbord.
So much food.
charcuterie boards, like, all around. Like, everyone brought a different charcuterie board.
They were so cute. There was, like, candy ones, tacos ones. The chili one was super creative. Fruit, all, like, everything you could think of.
Everything.
Caramel apple.
It was just perfect. Like, if you wanted something, it was there.
Yeah.
Definitely was. And then they had a bunch of prizes. It was just a good, relaxing night. And then we got a little workout in, and then came back. So,
Yeah.
but we came up with the idea because we just got done working out. We're like, perfect.
And we both kind of have different relationships with working out. Tyler, you kind of use yours for, like, mental health. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I would say the main reason I choose to work out is for my brain. I definitely have found that working out is a necessity for me, almost like a medication or vitamin D or, like, different things like that. Like, I can see instant improvement in my life when I work out. So it's always something that I try to make a priority. And
But when you're making it a priority, it's not like you stress over it. Like, if you miss a workout or you don't go for a couple weeks, like, it's not a big deal to you. It's definitely something you're like, oh, I'd like to do that because I know it helps me. But it's also not, like, a stressor on you at all, is it?
yeah, no, that's a great point. And, like, one thing I try and, like, correlate, it's not just working out. Like, I always think of working out as going to the gym or kind of like a more intense workout, when that's not what my goal is. My goal is just to move my body in a healthy way in, like, an additional time frame. Like, I'm not going to count my work as my workout. It has to be intentional.
Yeah. I think that's really fair, and I think the research really backs up what you're saying. Like, all the endorphins and hormones you get from working out it does feel good. It is really important for your whole body. And that's something that we were talking about the other night, was, like, the whole body. It's not just, like, your muscles and your bones or, like, what's on the outside. It's also your head and, like, where you're at mentally.
And, like,
all that
just
kind of
making
stuff.
sure that that's why you're working. Like, you shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't just be working out just to have a body that you're dreaming of, or to look a certain way for a certain day. Like, that, to me, isn't a good reason to work out.
Yeah, and when you're working out for those reasons, it's really hard because you have to kind of let go of some control, because we really have very little control over our body in terms of, like, how it looks and, like, shaping it. Like, there are people who work out and, like, trying to get a bigger butt or whatever it is, and, like, that's really hard to do. And the second you stop that, like, intense workout and, like, regimen, like, it's going to go away.
Yep.
So you have to be happy with yourself before you're doing that kind of stuff.
And I think, like, one thing I've noticed, like, when I work out, my mentality is always, I'm doing it for my brain, I'm doing it for my brain. Obviously, it has a lot of other perks with it. Like, yes, you do become fitter, and you do become...
And those things are important, too. Like, I don't want to diminish that.
It just can't be your number one priority. And
yes,
I would say is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
like, it's still a great perk, and, like, yes, you're gonna feel better if you're comfortable in your skin, but, like, that will come. It shouldn't be your number one reason to work out. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't want to be hypocritical with this, because I really truly believe these things, but I'm not in a place yet where, like, I can be practicing those. So, like, my history with working out, like, in high school, I was very active. Like, tennis and dance were my sports, and I spent a lot of time working on all of those, like, throughout the entire year. And I would use like, tennis or running as, like, a stress relief and that kind of thing. And I think
Almost in an unhealthy way.
It was kind of the beginning of an unhealthy way. I don't think it was completely unhealthy yet, because I certainly, like, I would notice things with my body, like, during tennis season, like, I would lose some weight during it and that kind of thing. And, like, then after tennis season, when my workouts were a little less intense and I would put on some weight, that was really stressful for me. And I didn't like that. So then I'd try and push myself harder, but without like the intense workouts of like having a coach, like going to the weight room, like all that kind of stuff. Like I just didn't get the kind of results that I would during season. And so I think it was like the start of unhealthy, but not completely. Like when I would be really angry about something and I would just like go on a run with like no destination, no like certain mileage or anything. Like I think that was a really healthy coping mechanism. But I think when I was doing it, because I would notice changes in my body from it, I think that's where it kind of started to grow into something a little bit more unhealthy. So then when I went to college, like my freshman year, like everyone always jokes about like the freshman 15 or whatever. And I definitely gained weight my first year, as a lot of people do. And I think we forget like all the reasons why that's happening. Like you're still growing, like your body is still growing and changing. And like I'm not like in an intense sport anymore, and like all those kind of things
And
certainly
the
contributed
amount of
to
stress
it.
in your life now. Like it's a
Yeah.
big transition. Like this
Yeah.
is one of the bigger transitions in your life if you go to college.
Yeah, it was like a huge transition. That's a really, really relevant or whatever. So freshman year or whatever. And then I go into my sophomore year, and I had some friends who were pretty active and like did things a lot, and I'd kind of join them. And then it started more with eating than exercise. I had some really unhealthy like eating stuff. I never want to say eating disorder. Like technically I've never been like diagnosed with an eating disorder, but like I was making myself puke
So it's
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never know.
Well, I think
It's hard
kind of
when like I don't have a professional diagnosis. Like I don't.
you could say symptoms.
Sure. Yeah. Like I would make myself puke. I was tracking every little thing that I ate, and I'd be very careful. Like if I knew we were going to go out to eat on Friday, like I just wouldn't eat on Thursday. Like I wouldn't eat at all or all day Friday. And like if I got to the point where I kind of felt like I'd pass out, like I would eat like as very little as possible. Like you've seen The Devil Wears Prada, right? How she has like a cheese every time she feels like she's gonna pass out. Like that was me. Like it was really bad. And like the tracking food was crazy. Like I had an app that I won't name, but like I would always try and get like the lowest amount of calories per day. And sometimes it would be so low that they like wouldn't let me log it, because they're like, you need more calories than that in a day. And like those would be the days where I was like, yes, I did it. Like I did so great. And I kind of felt like I was dying, because it really was, like I was being so unhealthy.
Yeah.
And I would like weigh myself every single morning. I'd get up, go to the bathroom, get completely naked, weigh myself, and like do it. And literally if I gained like 1 pound from the morning prior, I would like, it would ruin my whole day, and I like probably wasn't going to eat. And if I did, I was definitely throwing it up, type of thing. And yeah, it was really messed up. It was really, really messed up. But I was just in one of the worst spots mentally, I would say, ever. I mean, just in like full terms of everything.
Did you have like a support system at that point in your life yet?
I mean, kind of, but like nobody knew I was doing this. Like this was all like very secretive activity, and like I got good at like pretending that I ate, or like, oh, I just ate before I got home. Like I can't eat with you guys.
Yeah.
Like I didn't eat before I got home. And that kind of stuff. Or even like logging the calories. Like people didn't know I was doing that.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And then like where the exercise comes in to kind of bring it back to actual topic. Along with that, I was like, okay, well, sometimes I have to eat because I feel like I'm going to pass out and like whatever. So I was like, okay, well, if I work out, then I can get rid of some of the calories, and then it'll be okay. So I kind of started working out pretty casually, like going on a walk with a friend, or like going to a class at the gym, or like walking on the treadmill. And it was like very light workouts. And then it just kind of slowly kept increasing. And I don't know if I ever told anyone this, but like I got to the point where I would be working out for like 3 or 4 hours a day. And then even when I wasn't working out, like there was this like 2-hour time where I had my apartment that I shared with 3 roommates all to myself every day. And I would like do my studying like standing up. Like I wouldn't let myself sit down until someone got home. And like my legs would be just like shaking, literally shaking. Like someone would walk in the door and I would like want to start crying because I'd be like, thank God I can sit down. But like something in my brain was like, nope, like we gotta burn as many calories as we possibly can. And it really like amped up. And then through junior year, I was training for a 10-mile race with a friend, and that's when it just, I mean, it already was kind of out of hand. So like letting yourself sit down for 2 hours was really intense. Like even like if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd go so fast because I'd be like, I can't sit right now. Like I'd pee and like get up so fast.
Oh goodness.
Is that crazy?
You were dedicated.
Yeah, like it was really bad.
Like I think you could put your mind to about anything.
Yeah, and this is where it comes down to like being like, it's kind of bad I'm good liar.
Yeah.
Because like I figured out ways like nobody knew this was happening. And it's crazy because I was doing a lot. And I could just like go into the bathroom, like puke quick, and then like go join people.
And no one
would know.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And so then it like the working out amped up like when I was training for this race, and I was like constantly like something was like hurting to the point where like I should be going to the doctor, I should be getting rest, like all that kind of stuff. I ran the race, and after the race was done, I was like, okay, now like I just need to keep going, I need to push myself. And I woke up the next morning and I could hardly walk on my knee. Like it hurt so bad. And I like, even with like a hurt knee, I was still like going to the gym and like trying to do stuff. Like I looked ridiculous. And I had a friend who was like, you need to go to the doctor. And she eventually was like, after about a month of me like limping around, and everyone be like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like it's just like whatever. And she's like, if you don't call and schedule a doctor appointment right now, like I'm calling your mom. And like she literally sat there, like my mom's phone number up, like I'm gonna call. And I was like, this is silly. Like you're being like ridiculous, like da 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 da. And she's friend. Like, no, I'm not. You are like obviously in so much pain. Like what the fuck are you doing? And yeah, so then I finally went to the doctor, and he's like, yeah, like I think you're just like working out too much, and like you need to like whatever, and gave me some like PT stuff. And then which wasn't actually helpful because then I did the PT stuff like intense. Like I'd do it like all the exercises for like an hour.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And honestly, what like saved me from this vicious cycle, there was like a few times that were like light bulb moments where I was like, I don't want to live like this. Like I remember I was home for winter break, and they had do you remember those little like PB balls from like Jiffy or something? And my mom had got those. They were like new, and I was like, oh, like I want to try one. And I tried one, and I really liked it. And so I go on my app and I log that I literally ate one little tiny ball. Like it's probably like 2 calories or something like that. And I was like, no, like I want another one. So I did it, and I like logged it again. And I was like, but I want like more. And I was like, but if I get more, like I have to log it. And I just like remember I was standing in the pantry, and I was just like my head hung, and I was like, I'm just so tired. Like I'm just so tired. And it was like one of those moments where I was like, this is crazy. Like you're hungry, you want to eat these, but you can't because you're sick of logging it all the time. Like, and I just had a few like light bulb moments like that. And then I went abroad the summer after junior year, and I wouldn't say I like stopped, like not immediately, but by the time I went home, like I wasn't really like working out because I walked around all day, and I was just eating because I was like exploring new things. And then I got home, and I was just like and done. I'm never doing this. I, like, deleted the app and then, like, cried for hours. I was like, but I'm not going to know how much I'm eating. Like,
it was probably such a big relief in your head, too, though.
It was.
Like, you're probably crying happy tears, too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And, like, for now, like, I kind of went through a period after college where I would go to the gym after work for about, like, 2 hours, and then my friend would go after she was done with work because she was done after me, and we would do a workout class together. So I was, like, there for 3 hours, and I was like, oh, and then I started making myself puke again, and I was like, no, and again, it was, like, 2 light bulb moments that finally, like, got me to stop, or 3, I should really say. Like, 1, I ate an entire bag of Doritos, and then I was, like, in the bathroom puking, and I
puked up Doritos? I puked up Doritos.
Yeah.
Different ways, but...
Yeah. It's not fun. It doesn't taste good. And, like, my roommates came home, and I'm just, like, on the bathroom floor, like, with, like, Dorito hands, like, sitting around the toilet. And
gosh.
They're, like, upstairs, and I, like, don't want to come out of the bathroom. Like, I'm crying. I'm, like, a mess. And I don't want to tell them what's going on. Like, it's so embarrassing. And I was, like, I can't do this. Like, I can't live my life this way. And obviously it's really hard to stop. And then the other one, I was on a trip with my family, and we were at a zoo somewhere. I already, like, literally don't even remember where. But for lunch, I'd ordered pasta, which is something, like, I wasn't doing during this time period. I love pasta. I love it. But I ordered pasta, and I ate it to a point where I was, like, feeling, like, too full, like, overly full. And I was like, I can't. And I, like, went to puke it up, and there was this lady in the bathroom who was, like, hardcore judging me. And then I, like, lost my family, and it took me forever to catch up with them. And they're like, where have you been? And, like, da-da-da-da. And I was just standing there, and I'm just, like, lying. And I'm thinking of this old woman in the bathroom, like, giving me the stink eye. And I was like, again, like, I can't live my life like this. Yeah. And then I started therapy. And that helped a lot.
We love therapy.
Yeah. But I still need to get to a place where I can do it in a healthy way. But I'm scared, to be frank.
One thing that you said that having, like, I think it's important with working out, or even just, like, your body image. Like, I don't like having a goal with it.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's hard. Like, I don't want you to have a goal weight. I don't want you to have a goal body fat percentage even. Like, a goal look in your head, or, like, you just... That's where I think I've kind of been able to take that away from, like, my... When I say workout, like, I do it for my brain, and that's it. And that's what I think has been the biggest change in my life. Because growing up, I only worked out, like, for sports because we had to. At that point, I hated it. Like, I loved the sports that I was in, but I hated going to the gym or running. I have exercise-induced asthma, so, like, running was always an issue, and I always tried to do anything I could to get out of it. So now, just a new way.
Yeah. And what, like, you do that I just, like, my brain can't comprehend yet is that, like, you don't, like, have a strict schedule. You just, like, do it when you want to and when you have time and that kind of stuff. And I'm just scared, like, I'm gonna start and I'm, like, not gonna be able to stop. Like, I'm gonna just do it, like, randomly, and then it just, like, builds up, and I, like, go back into that cycle.
Yeah.
And I always, like, I also connect working out with food, and, like, that's not a healthy pairing at all, because my relationship with food now is so much better. Like, generally, I don't eat till I'm, like, so full. I, like, eat when I want. Like, I feel like I'm kind of doing, like, intuitive eating. Like, I eat when I want. Yeah. Like, all that kind of stuff. And I've also really, like, changed my mindset on, like, body image, too. Like, bodies change. They change all the time. And it is what it is. Like, this is just a thing that carries me around the world. And, like, I'm thankful for my body. And, like, that's all it is to me.
And I think you're doing it in a healthy way. Like, you're working through, like, body image first, and then your relationship with food. Like, those are two really important things to be mentally healthy. And, like, you're not, like you said, if it correlates it's not going to work out.
No,
so I think it's
absolutely.
like amazing that you're able to, like, understand that and realize that right now, because if you were just, like, to start going to the gym and going every day, like, it probably would end up to be a bad cycle.
Yeah.
Like, for me, my goal is just to become more consistent. Again, obviously, I'd love to go to the gym, but sometimes I choose sleep for other things. But
I also think, like, that's really admirable because, like, you're listening to your body. And I think that's something that, like, with getting a new relationship with food is what I've had to really do, is, like, get and totally rework my relationship with my body.
And, like, really with all these things, it's reworking your brain.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk in later episodes, I mean, earlier in our life.
We're time traveling.
Yeah. Earlier in our life, like, we were all raised and, like, taught different things. So it's with society, with our parents, with education, with everything. So, like, it's training our brains and our bodies to learn something new.
Yep.
And
yeah.
We're just here to educate you.
Yeah. No, I love it. This is my trauma. You're going to hear lots of Tyler's trauma. We got a lot of trauma.
We got lots of big T's, little T's.
Yeah.
It's probably a big T for you.
Yeah. And it's hard, too, because I haven't come to, like, a resolution with it, which is, like, so it makes it harder to talk about because I'm just, like,
you're still working
I don't know
on
where
it.
I'm going with it yet. So, but yeah, we got a lot of that, and we like to be really open with it because
you never know who you're going to help. Like, someone
Exactly.
listening might be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that right now and I'm living a private life with it. And maybe, like, it will resonate or connect with them.
And, like, all the stuff I was doing, like, it was crazy, and I felt, like, so embarrassed and so much shame around it. And I feel like when you remove the shame from things, like, you can be more open and you can get the help that you need and all that kind of stuff. Because, like, I guarantee, like, the amazing group of friends I had around me in college, I would have gone to them and, like, told them what I was doing, and every single one of them would immediately have, like, helped me and, like, whatever. But because of that, like, shame and, like, not talking about it, that wasn't gonna happen.
And so, like, this also going out to, like, younger teenagers and young girls, like, right now, like, I just hope that they're able to, like, hear these stories of kind of, like, how we not failed ourselves, but things that we wish we could have done differently almost, and we just hope that you're able to learn from our mistakes in a sense.
Yeah. And even if you make some of the same mistakes as us, I hope us talking about them will help you figure out how to, like, fix them and amend them and heal from them.
Yeah, or talk about them, like, within yourself, like,
yeah,
it's okay to talk about these things.
Yeah.
It's not something that should just be pushed under the rug.
And one thing, like, for me, I've always journaled, and I think that was really helpful. Like, every single day writing in my journal, like, I feel sick, I feel tired. Like, after a while, you're like, I keep writing the same thing over and over again. That's weird.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you're talking about it with your friends and you keep coming back to something, like, whatever.
To be able to recognize it sooner.
Yeah. Just remember the people in your life, they love you and they want the best from you. And it's disappointing because sometimes you might tell them something and not get the response that you need. But just know there's other people out there. There's so many people out there. And you got it. Yeah.
So we did miss a topic.
On catching up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So we're just going to, like, go back to that quick?
Yeah. Can we, like, edit it and rearrange it?
Maybe.
Okay.
If not, here we are.
Ketchup
or mustard?
Ketchup.
See what we did there.
So we're catching up.
Okay.
Ketchup.
So Halloween, like we said, me and Rita, we both had a good time. It was chill. That's what I liked about it. No costumes. Like, I love costumes, don't get me wrong. Love a good dress up. But
for sure.
It was just, like, a nice chill night.
Yeah.
Good times, good people, good drinks, good food, all around.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, for sure. And it was also good for me because I kind of had a fight with my boyfriend. And he ended up coming and, like, he had such a fun time. And, like, all of that. And I think, like, we have our issues. And I think sometimes for him, like, stuff is so black and white. And I just don't see the world that way. But it's nice when I have, like, examples like, hey, remember, like, you said you didn't want to go, and then we went out and you had a good time.
Yeah.
And not, like, in a manipulative way, but it just in
a
a way,
way to open
like,
his eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally
exactly. But it was such, like you said, a relaxing, fun night.
With, like, great laughs. Like, it was, like, good. Yeah, it was all around a great night.
Yeah.
So good.
And, like, at one point, like, the boys were out cooking pizza, and the girls were in the kitchen, and we had, like, we all, like, had a little vent session about something in our life, which is so important. It's just so important to find people you can just, like, be honest with and talk things through with. But, yeah, it was a really good night.
We only had, well, while I was there was only one trick-or-treater. It was a little sad. That was, like, a little sad. Like, where's all the kids?
Yeah.
I want to see the faces.
Yeah. Well, they're going to move into, like, a rich neighborhood soon, and then they'll get lots of trick-or-treaters. So, next year, maybe.
They better have the big candy bars. Okay, next one's kind of you, though. Like.
Oh, yeah. Well, my boyfriend's gone, which is good for you, because then you get to stay at my house.
Yep. So, you guys get more podcasts. Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. It's just a bummer. The boys go hunting, and I just think about it like we talked about with, like, a person in her family who right now is just, like, single parenting for 4 days.
With 2 kids under the age of 3.
Yeah, and dad's gone. And she was just talking about how she was stressed about it and everything. And I just think it sucks that, like, people don't always think about their impact of what they do.
And, like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you want to go hunting, go hunting.
Yeah.
I just think, like, I wish people were a little more considerate. Like Rita was saying, like, on the weekends is typically when people get, like, their household chores done. So, like, say laundry, whatever you're going to do for your chores. So, doing that one person, in addition to watching however many children, in addition to taking care of yourself and getting yourself ready and fed and everything.
Yeah.
And if you had work or other tasks that you were hoping to get done, like, I don't know, it's just a lot.
It is a lot.
And I don't know if people always put that into perspective.
And I also just think, like, how men typically feel like they can go off and do these things and it's kind of like their right or whatever. But women don't feel that way so much. Like, they feel like they need to, like, they need to be at home. They need to be with their family. And they, like, feel guilty for leaving. And then, unfortunately, sometimes when they leave, it's more work for them because
they have to get, like, everything in place.
Yeah, they're, like, prepping meals. They're, like, giving them the schedule because their partner is not, like, fully involved person. And
I really hope for my future to have 2, like, very involved parents with my children.
I think that
that'd be a goal of mine.
Yeah, I think we just have to hold that standard for ourselves and, like, make sure it happens.
Yeah. Something else we talked about, like, dads, it's not like they're watching the kids. Like, they're parenting. Like, they're also the parent. Like, when we say the mom watches, we never say mom's watching the kids. Like, she's doing her job. And that's also the dad's job.
Yeah. And, like,
your children.
Before he leaves for the weekend, maybe do laundry on Thursday instead of, like, on Sunday like you typically would, to, like, do those things. And it's not even like you're helping out your wife. You're just doing, like, your part of the tasks because you're going to be gone.
Because if you think about it, like, if you're single, you're going to do those same tasks either before or after. Yeah. And you're just, truthfully, really lucky that you have a partner that you get to share that workload with. Yeah. And so just making sure that you're not taking advantage.
For sure. Yeah. Just something we think about as we think about our futures. For sure. But what are you looking forward to as we talk about the future? What's something you're looking forward to here in the short term?
Okay, so, like, weekly.
Yeah.
What's next week? I think I have something. Oh, I have a funeral, but... Oh. Yeah.
In a weird way, you could look forward to that. Like, sometimes at funerals you get to see people you
I was going to say, I'm sad for the funeral, obviously, but I'm really excited to, like, be with my family. Yeah. Me and my...
I think that's fair.
Yeah. My family... So, my close family, like, my parents, and I have a brother. And so I'll see them, but then I also will see my extended family, and I'm pretty close with my extended family, so it's just a good time to catch up, reminisce on memories and that. So, I mean, I am looking forward to it. Yeah. And my brother's making me cookies. Yeah. So, that's always good.
For sure.
How about you?
Next weekend, I'm having a girls' weekend with my mom and my sister and my little niece. So I'm very excited about that. We're going to go to, like, the Children's Museum and do some shopping, do some crafting while my niece sleeps, and, yeah, so I'm just looking forward to that. Always good to spend time with them. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do...
Sure. So, what you reading?
Well, I'm currently reading, it was a TikTok book that I saw, so, like, that's where I got the recommendation from. It's called The Silent Patient, and the title, or the cover of the book, looks very kind of like...
It looks scary.
Yeah, it looks scary. It looks like...
It's like a horror.
And I'm, like, so I kind of like thrillers. I'm not, like, a scary movie type person, but I definitely like a good thriller. As long as it's, like, realistic, which... I still have horrible nightmares, but
yeah,
I don't know why I do it to myself, but my brain likes it. I enjoy it. So anyway,
it's just a little masochist.
Silent Patient is not really, at least yet, it's not that scary.
How far are you into it?
Probably about 3/4.
Okay.
Like, I'm almost actually done it. It's still not that scary.
Yeah, so it must just not be scary.
And, like, the patient part in it, like, I was kind of thinking, like, maybe, like, a murder and silent, or, like, we don't know who killed her. But it's, like, a psychology, and I love psychology movies and books. Yeah. Actually, I've never read a psychology book, really, besides in school. So, this one's
maybe
really
that's
good.
something you should look into finding more of.
Yeah. So, like, kind of get to, like, diagnose the patient.
Yeah.
And he's, like, still trying to, like, diagnose himself and work through his own things. Yeah. So, I recommend it so far. Yeah. Probably, like, an 8 out of 10.
I think you should read Maybe You Should Talk to Someone.
Okay.
That's the one I told you about with the therapist, and she's also in therapy. Yes. That one's really good. I really like that one.
Does it kind of, like, go back, like, from his life to him being a therapist?
Yeah, she is, like, it goes back and forth between, like, 3 patients she talks about, and then herself in therapy. Okay. So there's, like, 4 different stories that all kind of mesh together. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. What about you? Reading anything good?
I haven't started a new book yet, but I just finished Last Night in Montreal by Emily St. John, and I'm reading it because my grandma... I was telling her about this book that I loved called Station 11. Highly, highly recommend. It's also by Emily St. John. I loved it. I read it, like, twice in a row. Like, I read it, and then I read it again. And then there's also a show about it on HBO. And as I watched the show, I also listened to, like, a companion podcast. Like, I loved it. Like, it was just... I read it in a time... like, when there were more restrictions with COVID and everything, and it's a story about, like, a world post-pandemic, and, like, obviously very different than ours, but I just had a really good time. I think it's really well written. And then my grandma read this other book by the same author, so she gave me it to read, and it's very different than the first book that I read by this author, but it was fine. I mean, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. It was just very strange, and, like, there were some parts that were just very unrealistic, and, like, there's images I have from the book in my head that I just find unsettling. Like, there's a scene where she's in the bathtub, like, plucking out her hairs.
Oh, yeah.
And I just
you did say that.
think about it way too often.
Well, we'll have to talk about our visual thinking, too, at some point in our podcast series.
For sure. But is it time to spill the tea?
Spill the tea.
Spill the tea.
I think this might be the favorite.
Is it?
Not our favorite, but I think, like, the viewer's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
Are we the drama?
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah, so...
Okay, so both of our teas are with coworkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first with Purple Lady?
Purple Lady. So, what does that mean? No.
No.
Okay. She
It's
just
just
loves
like-
the color purple. It's an
Yeah.
observation. Actually,
And-
she's told me several times that she loves it, so it's all good. Purple Lady.
Yeah, and we're obviously not going to use her name. That would be mean.
Yeah, okay. So, anyway, in my position, I have a person who's in my office with me, and she just we share offices, but it's like solely my office. She just she has a spot in my office, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think so. I think that's fine.
And she brought in like a bunch of boxes, and they've just been sitting there unpacked for days upon days, like almost over a month, some of them.
And the boxes, like, don't need to be there. Like, none of
No.
them are relevant for this current position.
And it just is in the way. It's in the way of the other coworkers and staff.
And it's just an eyesore.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for it to be there.
Yeah. And, like, if you were working on unboxing them, I would be a little, like, more empathetic, but, like...
She dropped them off, and then she was gone from work for several days.
Yeah. It's just not...
But you gotta tell the funny part.
The funny part is my boss...
Well, she was gone. Purple Lady was gone from work because of some pain she was having.
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly.
In her
I don't
back.
know.
And I was also gone from work due to my car issues. And so my boss was covering in my room. And she decided to take care of the box issue and bring the boxes to the storage room where they belong. And emailed Purple Lady and said, "We're just helping you out because we knew your back hurt." And I just thought that was the most perfect thing I've ever...
It was kind.
perfect.
It was so kind.
So kind.
So thoughtful.
Amazing. Love it. So yeah, it's more so it's like me and my coworker, we don't mesh.
No, there's
Our
no
personalities. Like one time she asked if we could have any similarities. I said, well, our favorite colors are kind of similar. And the response I got was, I hate pink.
Yeah.
And I was like, Siri.
Yeah.
So, but we're getting through it. We're going to make it through. And that's my coworker story.
Yeah.
What's your tea?
So I kind of started it in my low about the mentee. So when I talked to my boss about it, she kind of was like, "Hey, we're just gonna not have you be mentor anymore, and no one needs to talk about it." And I was like, that's awkward. So I went and spoke to her and just told her, like, I was sorry that I didn't, give her whatever she needed in a mentor, and that I still respect her, and any help that she needs, like, we still work on a team together. So it's all good, like, whatever. And the conversation went pretty well. I mean, she got, like, a little teary-eyed and, like, said sorry and was like, "I don't want you to think you did a bad job," and, like, da-da-da-da. So, like, the conversation went really well, and I left it feeling pretty good. Because, like I said before, one of my concerns is how other people at work, like, view the whole situation. And I thought the way we left the conversation, like, there was no hard feelings, and she wasn't gonna be, like, spreading stuff around about it. Obviously, I expect her to talk to her people about it. I'm going to talk to my people about it. You're now part of my people. Welcome. And, but then I heard from another coworker that in front of a bunch of people, she said, "Well, I don't know about you, but I guess I don't have a mentor anymore." And the tone that this person who told me about it conveyed was that it was kind of, like, frustrated or whatever, and it really just left a bad taste in my mouth. There was no reason she needed to do that, and it just seems like she was kind of acting out of anger or frustration or however she's feeling, and, like, didn't know how to contain it.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
It's really frustrating, so...
And it's hard because, yeah, it is our work environment, and you have to contain professionalism, and...
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And this coworker did, like, try and reassure me that nobody is thinking down on me or anything like that. But
it's still an initial thought, I think, in most people's head. Like, why did a mentor get dropped from mentoring someone.
Yes.
Like, I feel like everyone's initial thought is
For sure.
they didn't do their job or something wasn't jiving. So, like, it's still,
Yeah.
like, we know you, so that's why we're able to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for people who don't, like, they are gonna, because
Yeah.
they don't know you.
Yeah.
And that's just everyone's.
Yeah.
But I think we just have to, like, look at what we know. Like, we have to try and get past the judgment and...
Yeah. And I'm just, like, really big into addressing stuff head on. So I sent an email to my boss that just said, like, hey, one day I spoke with her. I thought the conversation went really well. Just so it's on the record that, like, I went out and did that and, like, what I said. And then I said, but I heard from a coworker that she did this. It's frustrating to me, whatever, like... I don't know. She hasn't emailed me back, so I'm assuming we're going to talk about it on person on Monday. So I guess I'll give you guys an update next week.
Yep.
But that's the tea.
That's the tea. Okay, this is our last segment as of now. And it's just basically something new that we're doing for ourselves lately.
Yeah.
So, should I go?
Sure.
So, I've been doing... My other friend gave me a... gua sha.
I don't even know what she's talking about yet. This is new for me too.
Yeah, so it's gua sha and like dry brushing. I've been reading a lot about that and watching TikToks about that. So obviously you gotta try it.
So what's gouashing? Like, explain.
Gua sha,
Guasha?
and I think I'm saying it right, but...
Is it gouashing then? Like, can you make it into a...
I think so.
Okay.
I think it would have to be.
Okay.
But it's like that little, like, kind of looks like a bean.
A bean.
Like a big bean.
Oh.
But you put it in your fridge or your freezer.
Okay.
And you, like, you, like, hold your face and then you, like, rub it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a scraper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, you can do it on your face. But, I mean, I've been doing a little bit on my face, but, like, my face is going to be the way it is. Like, I don't know. I'm not really super trying to change it.
What is the point of the gouashing on your face? Like, it's supposed to change something?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to get, like, cheek... I shouldn't. We're podcasting. I don't have true facts. I don't know.
Okay.
It does something for your face. I know it does something with blood flow.
Okay. Whatever.
So, I know people swear by it, but I've been doing it. Can we say this word?
On your boobies?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say
Okay.
it. It's just a body part.
It's a body part. Okay. So, I've been doing it on my boobs and dry brushing along with it to try and get the blood flowing. And I read something.
And it feels good, right?
Yeah, it truthfully feels so good.
Yeah.
And, like, you get the right motions, and it's supposed to loosen up all the blood flow, the tissue, and your lymph nodes, like, right under your armpits, too. You have lots in there, and then, obviously, in your boobs. So, there's articles about how it could reduce your risk of getting breast cancer, and I was thinking...
And we're not guaranteeing that or anything. This is
No.
just something she's experimenting with and, like, has read about, so...
Yes.
Interesting.
No claims, but...
And it's
just
a cool
trying it
word.
out. Yeah, gua sha.
Guasha.
And, like, I think that's the act of, like, doing with the little scraper thing. But then dry brushing is the other part that I've been doing with it. But,
Yeah.
yeah. So, as of now, it's easy to do. And I'm, like, it's in my shower or it's right by my bed. So, then I do it.
Yeah.
So, just kind of building that habit right now.
Yeah, and I feel like that's such a good way to build a habit is just, like, having it available.
Mm-hmm. The visual cue is what helps me.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, what's something new you're doing for yourself?
So I am a bad sleeper, so are you. Mm-hmm. We just, like, don't sleep sometimes, and, like, that's the way it is. And, I mean, I'm past the point of, like, caring about it. Like, it is what it is sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna be, like, laying there and, like, mad about it or anything. But sometimes I'd found in the past, like, reading could help me, like, relax a little bit more. Even if I didn't completely fall asleep, like, I'd still get that benefit of just, like, having a relaxed mind and body. But I haven't been doing it recently because I moved in with my boyfriend
2 months ago?
2 months ago.
How many? Yeah, 2 months ago.
2 months ago. And I stopped doing it because I was, like, worried that if I turned on the lamp, it was going to, like, wake him up. And I just, like, I had that initial thought, and then I just, like, never thought about it again. And then the other day, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he, like, pushed it. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, are you sleeping? And I was like, oh, no. He's like, that's what I meant. And he's like, why aren't you sleeping? And I was like, I just don't sleep sometimes. And he's an excellent sleeper, so he just, like, doesn't understand. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, what are we going to do about it? And I was like, I don't know.
That's
like,
sweet, though. He cares.
Well, yeah, but I was also like, I don't know.
But he wants you to make sure that you get your sleep.
Yeah.
I think it was a thought that...
No, like,
the
it
thought
was
mattered.
It was sweet. It was sweet.
But I get what you're saying. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
No.
And also, like, it was sweet. He noticed. Like, I didn't know he knew. And, so we were just, like, talking about it. I was like, well, I used to, like, just read. And he's like, well, why don't you do that? And I was like, oh, I don't want to wake you up with the lamp. He goes, I don't think that would wake me up. And I was like, oh, okay.
Try it.
So I did it, and it doesn't wake him up, and why am I surprised by that? He's a heavy sleeper. I have no idea.
Did you fall asleep?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, well, you're getting there. You'll get close.
But also, I feel like it's just good not to have...
that thought.
Yeah, not to be, like, on my phone or whatever. So.
And now you can use that in the future going forward.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
It was also, like, it was silly that I just was like, no, I can't do that anymore, and then just, like, stopped. So. Yeah.
I think that goes into, like, what we were saying earlier today, like, how we always try to cater to
other people. For sure.
Like, and we aren't thinking about ourselves, or we won't always speak up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Because, like, if right away, like, the first time I was living here and I was having trouble sleeping, if the first time I would have, like, either just done it and, like, saw it happen, or, like, waited and asked about it, like, I could have been doing this for the last 2 months.
And you might have had sleep, or whatever the case may be.
Or even if, like, I tried it or asked him about it, and it was, like, a no-go because, like, it was going to wake him up, like, that'd be fine, too, and then I would just know. But instead, I was like, yeah, nope, I'm not going to bother him with this.
Yeah. Which
is silly. Like, he's one of my people. Like, he wants to be bothered.
Yeah. He cares.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Now I know. The more you know.
The more you know. And I think that's our podcast.
And that is our first podcast. We did it.
Next.
Fist bump.
So we'll catch you probably next week, right?
Probably next week. We'll have our Starbucks. We'll kind of have the same format.
Yep.
And
we'll have a new topic.
We're so excited to share with you.
If you have any ideas, you could always, like, comment.
Yeah.
I think you can comment.
I think so.
You could definitely leave us a review.
For sure, leave us a review. Share with your friends.
Yep.
Hopefully, it will open up some conversations with you guys.
Cool.
But have a fabulous week. We love you.
We love you so much.
And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Peace out.